Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to make a quick remix using a reference track. So if you kind of are lost and wondering how to get your remix started or how to work out details on the arrangement of your track, a reference track can be really helpful and useful, and I'm going to take you through the steps that I use to make my latest remix, and then at the end of the video I'm going to play my remix with a music video to go along with it. So let's jump into this. Alright, so I'm here in Studio One by PreSonus. If you don't have a DAW, I highly recommend Studio One. They've got a great introductory version, and then once you're comfortable and ready, you can go ahead and upgrade to the professional version. It's fully featured, and it's just got too many things to go into right now. I'll probably do that in a later video, but right now let's focus on this remix. So, you know, as a DJ, as a producer, you've got artists that you look up to. And so if you're doing a style or a new style, like for this remix, I decided to do drum and bass, and more specifically liquid funk, which is a more jazzy, melodic, atmospheric version of drum and bass. And so there are several producers that I highly admire, and I just chose one of them. I chose a track that I thought would fit well with the vocal for this remix. And so the first thing I did is I dragged my reference track in. You can see it right here at the top. And then what I'll do is I'll go through and plant markers throughout the track, which will serve as a roadmap when you're laying out your arrangement. It makes it so simple. So I've got one here at the beginning of the track, marker here at the first breakdown, a marker here for the first build up just prior to the drop, the first drop, and if we continue on, here's the second breakdown, the second build, and then finally the second drop, and then leading to the outro of the track. So that really, all of this just really helps and makes it really quick and simple to set up your arrangement for the track. The next step is just to listen, give the track a listen through 1 or 2 or 3 times. And then with your ears, you pick out the different elements of the reference track that you'd like to adapt into your remix. And then what you can do is just one by one start laying those elements out. I begin with the kick, and then I go down and drop a snare in, hi-hat. These are all the elements from the reference track that I decided to graft into my remix. And once you do that, you lay out all the elements that you'd like to incorporate. And then I laid out my vocal the same way they had the vocal arranged. I've got my vocal arranged in a similar way. And so one thing people watching might think is, oh, you're copying, but the main thing for me is that music like jazz, drum and bass, hip hop, they're all built on a structure, a common structure. And if you listen to 10 or 15 tracks by some of the top producers, you'll notice similar elements because they all subscribe to a certain standard and a certain structure for that genre. So I don't think it's a bad thing to use a reference track. Just make sure you throw in different elements. You might change up some of the sounds, pads, the layers, the vocals, etc. So we're just using the reference as a skeleton for the track. So here I've got all my elements laid out, and then you can go through and do your own arrangement, drop in some effects. But this basically is the structure of how I did my latest remix. This is for a competition from Dim Mak record label. The artist is Arm & Hammer, and it's got wonderful vocals by Neve, who is a singer I had not heard of prior, but she's got great vocal quality, and I really look forward to doing remixes when there's a fantastic vocal involved. It makes it so much more easier and pleasurable to do. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I've got the reference here, and then like I said, I've laid out all the elements that I wanted to graft on, and then put my own spin on each of them, my own bass lines, melodies, etc., and finished it up. And then as far as mastering, if you want to do like a quick master, you can try your best to get it close to the reference. It's almost impossible to get it 100% there because a lot of professional producers, people you might admire, they might send it out to mastering houses, and these guys spend years of their life perfecting their techniques. They've got separate plugins, expensive, analog outboard gear that they might run the track through to get it louder and brighter and work with the bass, what have you. So if you're just beginning, just try your best to get it as close as you can with all the tools available at your disposal. I recommend watching tutorials and just kind of upping your producer IQ as you go along. You're not going to be perfect. It's always a work in progress. But like I said, using a reference track like this is just a great way to get started and to learn about arrangement, how arrangements work. And you can do this with any style of music. You can do it with house, electro, hip hop, what have you. So I highly recommend, if you're a beginner or even if you're a professional and want to dive into a new genre the way I have, a reference track would be a great way to get you off to a fantastic, quick, and easy start. So right now I'm going to play you the finished result of this track along with the video from the label, and we'll see how we do in the remix competition. But ultimately, I just had a great time putting this together, and please feel free to leave your comments down below. Give me your thoughts on the remix, how you think it sounds, and make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week for a brand new video. Peace.